But the news program that I find most exciting largely because of its philosophy of engaging all classes of people, the artisans, politicians, technocrats, captains of industry, and professional analysts on issues that touch all aspects of life and living. In the conversations that follow, you find complexities, different views, ideologies, thought patterns, and individual beliefs. It's quite engaging. We do this Saturdays on NTA Network Service at 9 p.m. It's Weekend Pal, but you call it Weekend Companion, and it's all about nation building. Join me, Kirian Umayo, and production crew every Saturday for this weekend treat, and I can tell you that it is unmissable. Make it a date.
The finals of the Men and Women African Cup of Nations. It's always frenetic. On days such as this, there are no tribes, no religion. Here, Nigerian warriors are out to represent, to show the skills that makes us the best. On days like this, the color is one. The color is green. When we get the job done, it is because we have stuck together. When we celebrate, we stand together. Nigerians, united in victory. We are Nigerians. We are one.
I am God's greatest work.
Heaven is mine!
And I shall ascend above all of creation.
Where are we?
Do not be afraid.
We call this Eden. God will be with me.
Moses?
I will never let them go!
You will be like God. You surely will not die.
I'm not good in these kinds of situations.
You know Superbook never takes us back. You can tell he's ready.
Vice President Osinbajo identifies corruption as bane of development, urges Nigerian young graduates to live above board.
Financially excluded communities, we wanted them to have access to rural finance.
Hope rises for self-sufficiency in rice production by next year. Plus, House of Representatives to the rescue as Abuja residents groan under multiple taxation. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News tonight. I am Ronke Kolawole. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has described corruption as the bane of national development, which must be aggressively tackled in the interest of economic emancipation. Professor Osinbajo, who made this remark at the fourth convocation of the Afe Babalola University, are doing be the vanguard if justice and fairness must be entrenched in the delivery of governance. Michael Olaleye has that report.
The presence of the Vice President speaks volume of the innovative and market-driven curriculum of the institution, which Vice President Yemi Osinbajo lauded as contributing to national growth. Academic excellence and professional dexterity were rewarded by the founder as best staff, students and parents received cash award.
I dealt with distractions. I tried to remain focused.
Every good thing has to be tough before you get a good result.
Climax of the convocation ceremony was the conferment of honorary doctorate degree of business administration on a Lebanese of Nigerian extraction, Dr. Raymond Zad, in Ado-Ekiti. Michael Ale NTA News.
The National Judicial Council, NJC, says the current position of the Nigerian Bar Association vis-a-vis its recommendation that the affected judicial officers involved in the ongoing investigation of judicial officers by the Department of State Services be requested to proceed on compulsory leave until the conclusion of all disciplinary proceedings against them is unacceptable. A statement by the Acting Director Information, Sojioye, indicates that the provisions of Section 158 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, NJC shall not be subject to the direction or control of any other authority or person while exercising its disciplinary power of control over judicial officers in the Federation. The statement further noted that the Council is not unmindful of the concern of the public on the situation, added that unless the subject judge accused of commission of the offense of murder, of robbery, is petitions to NJC, it shall oversight
of Science and Technology and its agencies have been perceived, which led to its neglect by previous administrations in the country.
Now I can see indications of progress in this ministry. I want to assure you, Honorable Minister, that we are solidly in support of your efforts to re-engineer the Ministry of Science and Technology for the development of our nation.
Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, told the committee members that the ministry is working harmoniously with research institutes, industries, agencies under the ministry, the private sector, and state government for effective deployment of research results to the development of the nation.
We are also working closely with state governments to ensure that whatever we do here, that the various state governments are aware and they can take advantage of the research findings that the research institutes and agencies of this ministry generate.
The Senate Committee on Science and Technology were at the ministry to assess its performance, challenges, and prospects. Kyrian Umayo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the need for government at all levels to engage more of the services of indigenous contractors has been re-echoed at a special engagement between the Nigerian Society of Engineers and lawmakers with engineering background. Adibola Brooksland Sunday has that report.
The release of funds by the federal government to mobilize contractors back to sites. The president, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Otis Anyeji, says it's a welcome development, but he, however, wants indigenous contractors to be given more contracts to help in strengthening the nation's economy.
We want the National Assembly to make laws that will empower Nigerians in business to make sure that at least all jobs going on here in Nigeria should be done by anybody in partnership with Nigerians, if it is not Nigerian, all true. And that partnership should be at least about 50%.
This expands the horizon for employment for Nigerian engineers. Two is that it has a level of retainership to what is generated by local contractors to be retained here.
The need for the creation of a chartered Nigerian Society of Engineers was also deliberated upon.
Need to have an independent body where you can now be able to bring up your rules, your regulations, and then you can check every kind of malpractice in the sector.
The interactive session between the leadership of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and engineer legislatures is to further fast-track better engineering practice in Nigeria. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
In other news, the House of Representatives Committee on the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, has condemned what it described as multiple taxation in the FCT. The committee, in an interactive session with officials of the FCT administration, observed that the collection of tenement rates by the 6 area councils is illegal. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo has that report.
The House members were particularly worried over the collection of taxes by agencies other than the Federal Capital Territory Inland Revenue Service as provided by law. It advised the Federal Capital Territory Administration and the area councils to put the collection of tenement rates on hold.
Why the Act says this FCT IRS cannot collect tenement rates except that power is donated by the area councils.
In another development, the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation has assured Nigerians that the country is not under threat of a dangerous earth tremor. The coordinating director from the office, Barde Jatau, gave the assurance in a meeting with the House of Representatives Committee on Works.
I have assured you that we are not on ring of fire. It is intraplate fault activity, seismic activity within a plate.
So whatever proposals you are making, it should inherently contain the opportunity and capacity for you to propagate that information across to Nigeria. Both by website use, both regular briefing.
The Office of the Surveyor General assured the committee that the report of the Kaduna incident will be ready before the end of this year. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Thank you, Ignatius. Nigeria is to be self-sufficient in rice production before the end of 2017. Minister of Agriculture, Audi Ogbe, who based his optimism on the CBN 15.7 billion naira anchor borrowers intervention program to boost rice cultivation, was speaking in Anambra State during the inspection of one of the benefiting farms. Cliff Ayozie reports.
Harvesting in progress to meet 2019 presidential self-sufficiency target in rice production. With 26 states indicating interest in rice cultivation, the Central Bank of Nigeria has already committed 15.77 billion naira from 2014 through its Anchor Borrowers program. Koschari's farms, sitting on 2,600 hectares of land in Anaku, Anambra State, is a beneficiary of 2 billion naira from the CBN fund. Within 2 years, the mechanized rice farm is already drawing attention. Agriculture Minister Audobwe Ontoa says a silent revolution is going on in agriculture.
I've seen a similar thing in Kebbi. We're seeing this big one, and I'm very proud of Koschari's and the effort the governor is making to support him. In another year, we shall have no need to import 1 grain of rice into this country.
Anambra State government provided the initial funding support as the farm is expected to contribute about 4,000 metric tons to the state's current rice production capacity of 210,000 metric tons. And Kebbi State, a leader in rice cultivation, could not agree less.
We started from 80,000 metric tons 2 years ago, and we are really expanding.
President Muhammadu Buhari, with the active support of the minister, the central bank, is now yielding fruit.
Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, says
Committee of Governors of Central Bank of Nigeria gave approval for him to set up a mill here and also set up his irrigation. That is the kind of support we will give to people who show interest.
With 8 climatic conditions, it's a shame that we spend $4 billion US to import rice.
The firm has potential to employ about 3,000 Nigerians in due course. Cliff Ayoze, NTA News.
And taking on some security matters now, police force headquarters has paraded 9 suspected kidnappers who allegedly abducted some residents in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and 5 others in Lagos. The first public relations officer, DCP Donna Wona, at a media briefing in Abuja said the suspects were arrested in various parts of the 2 states. Edino Justice has the details.
The suspects, aged between 23 and 34, who were said to have terrorized residents of Jerryfish 2, Port Harcourt Main Town, and Bokiri General Area, all in Rivers State, were arrested on the 12th of this month. DCP Donna Wuna said the arrests were made possible through diligence and intelligence exhibited by the IGP's intelligence response team, who swung into action. Weapons were recovered from the suspects.
1 AK-47 rifle, 124 live ammunition, 4 AK-47 magazines. It will be recalled that Mr. Ken Aswete, a Port Harcourt-based human rights lawyer, was murdered in cold blood.
The force PPRO also said that 5 suspected kidnappers who allegedly abducted some residents of an estate in Isheri area of Lagos State were arrested on the 7th of this month. While stating that the suspects will be charged to court, he assured Nigerians that the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, is determined to ensure that criminals do not escape justice. Edino Justice, NTA News.
A non-governmental organization known as the Africa Support and Empowerment Initiative, AFRISA, has denied allegations of franchise infringement leveled against it by the Bring Back Our Girls group. A statement jointly signed by the organization's president, Hadiza Buhari Bello, daughter of President Muhammadu Buhari, and the secretary, Don Uche, says AFRISA is a responsible body that will never engage in illegal activities such as stealing someone else's franchise. The statement added that while the Bring Back Our Girls group sustained awareness about the plight of the kidnapped Chibok schoolgirls, AFRISA is assisting Chibok and other devastated communities through skills acquisition for the youths and the less privileged. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with our iOS. Africa's ends on a success note as radio, television, and radio workers honor deserving Nigerians. Details when we come back.
When has it reached this? Much less this. And this. And And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
With free basics, one opportunity leads to many. Dial *141# to get Jobberman, Airtel One Touch, and many more without data charges. Only on Airtel.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, invites state commissioners, permanent secretaries and directors of information and all other stakeholders in the information sector to the 46th National Council on Information with the theme, Leveraging on Information and Digital Technology to Sustain the Change Agenda of Government. Chief host, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, Governor of Delta State. Venue, Event Center, Okpanam Road, Asaba, Delta State. Date, 26 to 29 October 2016. Program is as follows. Wednesday, 26 October 2016. Time, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Arrival and registration of participants. Thursday, 27 October 2016. Time, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Registration continues, and 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. is slated for the technical session. Friday, 28 October 2016. Time, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Registration of state commissioners. 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Opening ceremony. And from 12 noon to 6 p.m., the council meeting will take place. Announcer, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
The 2016 Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment meeting of the National Council of Industry, Trade and Investment will take place from Monday 24th to Thursday 27th of October 2016 at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Theme, diversification of Nigerian economy from overdependence on oil export.
Who should attend? All state commissioners and PAMSECs of industry, trade, investment, commerce and tourism, CEOs of parastatals and agencies under the ministry, as well as development partners and organized private sector such as MAN, NASIMA, FACAN, and others.
The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, will declare open the council meeting on Monday, 24th October 2016. All state commissioners for commerce, industry, trade, investment, and tourism, and other delegates are to arrive at Belkuta on Sunday, 23rd October 2016.
For further information, please contact Deputy Director, Planning, email umarubuhari@yahoo.co.uk or call 0809 543 4179.
Umogwo Abanedo Wabamani Manedo Yayo Uku Akpala no Giema Wemi Upono Bamaja Ugboriri no Saya Yobeto Ijare Captain Osa Okubotwo Giema.
I, Captain Dr. Hosa Okumbo, heartily felicitate with His Royal Majesty Oba of Benin on this auspicious occasion of your coronation as Oba Eware II, Oba of Benin Kingdom. It is our prayers that the Almighty God and our ancestors will grant you good health and peaceful reign on the throne. Oba Gatokbe Ise. Signed, Captain Dr. Hosa Okumbo.
To send and receive money across Africa in a flash, use Rapid Transfer today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
The Lost Chosen Charismatic Revival Movement invites you to a 2-day power-packed international crusade titled God Has Sworn to Bless You. Yes, God has sworn to bless you. We have seen blind eyes opened, deaf and dumb instantly healed, HIV/AIDS healed. God has done all these amazing miracles, signs and wonders through the anointed servant of God, Pastor Lazarus Walker, the General Overseer of the Lost Chosen Charismatic Revival Movement worldwide. Date, Saturday 22nd and Sunday 23rd of October 2016. Venue, National Stadium Main Bowl by City Gate, Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. We strongly believe in God for a mighty move of the Holy Ghost and the salvation of your soul. Come receive your miracle. Jesus is Lord.
Glad you're still watching NTA Network News. The African risk capacity is aiming to reach a total of 30 countries with corresponding insurance coverage of $1.5 to $2 billion by 2020 as relief for drought, flood, and cyclone benefiting over 150 million persons in Africa. This informed discussions at the organization's initiation workshop for Nigeria held in Abuja. Olajide Bello has that report.
The workshop is coming on the heels of the African Union Ministers of Finance recommendation in 2010 to explore the possibility of establishing a continental disaster risk pool. Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Sanisidi represented, and the Deputy Director, International Eco-Relations, Ministry of Finance, described the workshop as the right course for Nigeria to implement its disaster risk financing policy and strategy for weather phenomena.
When you become a member of the African risk capacity, you pay premium for either drought or flood. And then when you are affected by any of this, you are paid. You are paid compensation.
In terms of what the government stands to gain, it's an AU institution. So it's an institution that is mandated to work on behalf of the governments, including Nigeria, and the needs of the Nigerian government. For us, that translates into working with the governments and the various ministries and departments to build a better understanding of disaster risk management and specifically disaster risk financing.
Subsequently, 32 signatories endorsed the agreement establishing the African risk capacity, with Nigeria signing the ARC agreement in December 2014. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, has described the 2016 Africast as a success and that NTA would take advantage of some modern equipment to further strengthen its stations for high-definition signals in the transmission of programs. Adebola Brookston Sunday again reports.
The three-day biennial event ended with exhibitors disconnecting and dismantling their stands.
For 3 days, these exhibitors have been showcasing their equipment, and even content providers are not left behind.
The NTA, probably more than any other broadcaster, shows how public service broadcasters can stay apace and stay ahead of technology.
Luisa Finetti is in Nigeria for the first time.
My experience was very positive because the market is a growing market, so we hope to have a very good business for the future. But Nigerian people are so kind, so polite, so I really like them so much.
Broadcast equipment distributor Jihad Anzie wants more African broadcast equipment manufacturers to participate in subsequent Africas.
Country to attend the exhibition, so to be more business for Nigeria.
Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, who is the chairman Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BON, says Africast has repositioned NTA for improved quality signal content.
Can't come to a place like this and go, without seeing something new. Africast is an exhibition avenue for manufacturers, content providers, and so on and so forth. Of course, when you have such a gathering of eminent manufacturers and providers of content, you are bound to see something new. Yes, I've seen something new.
Africast is an initiative of Nigeria's broadcast regulator, the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC. In Abuja, Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, has emerged the best partner in progress of the 2016 Africast. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports that Executive Director Marketing of NTA, Adenike Olufade, received the award at the gala night in honor of exhibitors of the just concluded Africast 2016.
After a 3-day work, business session, and exhibitions, organizers and participants converged to unwind. Africa's 2016, which many say was a success, made way for several categories of awards for content providers, equipment manufacturers, signal distributors, with NTA, the largest TV network in Africa, as the best partner in progress.
And we have always set the pace in broadcasting in Nigeria and even beyond, and we'll continue to do that. You know, we are the first.
In Abuja, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
The media sector has been lauded for its role in information dissemination, accurate news reporting, programming, and promoting national unity and development, as well as the sustenance of the nation's democratic experience. This formed the thrust of the first National Merit Award, organized by the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, RATAWU, in Abuja. Joseph Johnson reports that the event equally recognized the contributions of some governors and personalities to the growth of the sector.
It is the first of its kind, a homecoming for broadcasters. Those who laid the foundation for the industry and the younger ones are all gathered here to share in a moment their contributions, and exceptional performances will not only be recognized but also awarded accordingly. The awardees, ranging from broadcast media stations, including the Nigerian Television Authority, as the best station for national harmony and development.
You can't beat the rich.
Individuals, groups, agencies, special awards to the governors of Kano and Ogun states, and a few others were all identified as having genuinely contributed to the growth and development of the media. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, was represented by the Deputy Director, Federal Ministry of Information, Charles Ojugbana.
The Federal Ministry of Information and Culture will always continue to be partners and great supporters of the greatest ideals of RATAWU.
With the awards presented and received, recipients and others who were witnesses were challenged to sustain and maintain professionalism to keep up with international best practices. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
And now to religious matters. Patience, perseverance, and doing good are virtues that can get any society out of tribulations and challenges. This was the thrust of the sermon at today's Juma prayers, delivered by Imam of Area 8 Juma Mosque, Garki Abuja, Ustaz Ilyasu Abdulmumini. Abdullahi Musa Suleja has that report.
For quite some time now, Nigerians have been complaining
could not witness began yesterday. Justice Mohammed Idris therefore adjourned the case till Monday the 24th of this month. Meanwhile, the trial of former director of media campaign organization for the People's Democratic Party, Femi Fani-Kayode, along with former Minister of Finance, Nenade Usman, and Najuma Yusuf began before Justice Muslim Hassan. After preliminary objection by defense counsel on the insufficient number of witnesses and evidence presented in court by the prosecution, Justice Hassan ruled that the trial can commence with the available evidence. He therefore adjourned the case to the 14th and 15th of November 2016.
I believe a case in Abuja, which we have already acknowledged the fact that the matter is for November the 10th. My lawyers have appeared in court. The matter is seized of the court. And my lawyers have undertaken to produce me on November the 10th to the court, and we've written a letter of acknowledgement, which has been acknowledged to the EFCC, saying I will be in Abuja for those charges.
There was, however, a twist when EFCC officials rearrested Femi Fani-Kayode within the court premises. Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode was thereafter driven away by the EFCC officials. In Lagos, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
The second Maltina Teacher of the Year has emerged after a rigorous screening process. It was announced at the grand finale of this year's edition in Lagos. Lynn Lenike reports that Nigerian Breweries PLC says the initiative is meant to reward exceptional teachers across the country.
The challenge for the Maltina Teacher of the Year 2016 competition had sparked off excitement and great expectations from teachers across the country. After a rigorous screening process, the external and independent panel of judges came up with 23 champions from the various states, with 10 finalists and 3 winners topping the lists.
This is a motivation to teachers for them to get back to their classrooms and give back to the children. As we are being appreciated today, we can go back and do better so that we can be appreciated the most.
It is a great way to recognize, reward and celebrate with teachers and the work they're doing for young individuals and in the end for the sustainability and growth of the nations.
We hope this will bring attention to investing in our teachers so that we can reap that demographic dividend as a country.
The Minister of State Education urged teachers not to relent but continue in upholding the ethics of the teaching profession.
And it's a challenge for others to get registered and become professional teachers, and not just people who have come to teaching us by some kind of chance.
The overall winner received the sum of 1 million naira cash prize and will continue to receive that same amount for the next 5 years. The winner is also entitled to overseas training, while the school he represents will get classroom block. The first runner-up smiled home with 1 million naira cash. The second runner-up also gets 750,000 naira cash. This is in addition to the 500 naira they have received as state champions. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Now to business news. As the nation grapples with investors' apathy to insurance, stakeholders explore a new kind of insurance that promises to deepen the business of risk management in the country. Amechi Pius tells us more on our business news segment.
Hello, and it's time to talk business. Nigeria's insurance industry has been characterized by poor perception of the business by the public and lack of comprehensive outreach of insurance products, among others. These have continued to take its toll on insurance, which contributes less than 1% to the nation's GDP. To promote inclusive insurance participation in Nigeria, experts have concluded arrangements for the takeoff of takaful insurance. It's another kind of insurance based on the principles of Sharia.
It's a guarantee from me to you also as a member that if anything happens to you, we're in the same boat.
It's a win-win insurance cover. Under the contract, the takaful operator only manages the fund for a fee and shares profits from the fund with the customers.
Takaful is not for Muslims alone, it's for all people. As I said, it's a business decision.
Unlike the conventional insurance, the pool of funds from the investing public are invested in restricted areas.
I'm not going to invest money in, let's say, equities that are either breweries or interest-based, unaccepted entertainment like casinos, gambling, like pornography, and so many of those kind of areas.
Given its success stories in other jurisdictions like Kenya and Malaysia, experts are of the opinion that Takaful Insurance will deepen the business in Nigeria by promoting ethical practices, transparency and fairness in the business of risk management. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has predicted that Nigeria will return as Africa's largest economy. In its latest report, the IMF predicted that Nigeria's GDP will hit $415.08 billion at the end of 2016 from $493.8 billion realized the previous year. Nigeria lost its position as the biggest economy on the continent of Africa in August this year after a recalculation of the nation's GDP. And that's business news. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
You're still watching NTA Network News coming to you from Lagos Network Center. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news returns from Abuja. Stay with us.
As part of the efforts of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, to promote voluntary compliance and spare taxpayers the burden of carrying forward old tax liabilities arising from penalty and interest, the service wishes to invite all principal officers, especially chairmen, managing directors, chief executive officers, and non-executive directors, chief financial officers, and all company owners or their representatives to take advantage of a special window to avoid payment of penalty and interest on tax due between 2013 and 2015. The service will grant a pardon dating back to 3 years, 2013 to 2015, to all taxpayers if such taxpayers declare their indebtedness within the 45-day special window and present a payment plan on the outstanding principal tax liability acceptable to the FIRS. This window opens on 5th October and closes on 24th November 2016 and relates only to accumulated penalty and interest, not principal tax due. Based on this waiver, part or full payment of undisputed tax liabilities should be made, while the balance can be paid in installments not lower than 25% on account. Failure to take advantage of this special window will result in the FIRS deploying all legal means, including criminal prosecution of board and management of defaulting organizations. Applicants wishing to take advantage of the special window are enjoined to forward their applications to Office of the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, 20 Sokode Street, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Oh, Mama, you are welcome. Please come in.
Of course. I will come into my son's house. I need to drop these foodstuffs in my son's kitchen.
This way, Mama.
Where is my room? In my son's house.
Keep your white fabrics glowing whiter, your home sparkling and free from germs with Hypo. Make a dazzling impression every time and let your white speak for you.
My wife. Any other wife is a counterfeit.
Oh, Mama.
Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Now available in Lime Breeze.
In life, there are many distractions, but the future is always created by those who can focus on the goal. Techno Phantom 6 with dual back camera and adjustable focusing technology. Never say it, show it.
Welcome back from that commercial break. In continuation of the news, Boosting agriculture through increased access to finance for local farmers has been described as an imperative towards achieving the much-needed diversification of the nation's economy. This position was canvassed by speakers at the 2016 annual Lift Above Poverty Organization LAPO Development Forum in Abuja with the theme, Food Security and Sustainable Agriculture in Nigeria. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim has the details.
The annual LAPO Development Forum, initiated in 1994, has become a veritable platform for stimulating development discourse in Nigeria. This year's gathering, the 23rd in the series, is aimed at increasing knowledge on food security and sustainable agriculture, as well as providing farmers and agro-business owners access to funding opportunities. Various discussants, led by Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo, say in the face of the current economic challenges in the country, agriculture is the sure way to go.
Why is it that a country that earned a great deal of our foreign exchange in 1960s and 1970s from agriculture regressed in her agricultural production to the extent that she is now confronted with the all-important problem of feeding her population?
The federal government has just launched the Green Alternative, which has come out clearly on how the Nigerian economy will be diversified towards agriculture.
Founder of LAPO, Godwin Ehigiamosue, says the organization has so far disbursed 455.5 billion naira to micro and small business owners, especially women in agriculture, to break out of poverty.
It's to stimulate discussions. It is to appeal to youth, particularly, to engage in agriculture.
We need to go into processing, encourage those who can process so that these people can come and buy from the farmers and go and process it so that there will be less wastage.
Established in 1987, the Lift Above Poverty Organization LAPO is a leading non-governmental organization committed to the social, health and economic empowerment of the poor and vulnerable in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
We now take you to Sokoto for story on Quranic recitation competition in Saudi Arabia and other reports from the zone. Zainab, you're welcome on board.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome. Nigeria will not be participating in this year's King Abdulaziz International Quranic Recitation Competition in the first category to be held in Saudi Arabia. This is sequel to the issues surrounding the person to represent the country at the competition. Muhammad Nasir takes up the rest of the story.
The person to represent the country at the King Abdulaziz International Quranic Recitation Competition is usually chosen at the end of national recitation competition organized annually in Nigeria by the Center for Islamic Studies Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. Ahmad Yusuf Adam Umar from Bauchi State emerged overall winner, first category of the 2016 competition held in Nasarawa State. He was, however, not nominated to represent the country in the competition coming up on the 22nd of this month in Saudi Arabia due to non-submission of supporting documents, which affected most of the participants of the competition. After efforts to get Ahmad Yusuf Adam's document proved futile due to time factor, the center directed that second-best winner be nominated, which led to outcry by the overall winner.
It was not go to us at the right time. So that is why we made the replacement.
The Center Board of Trustees has stopped both candidates for this reason from participating in this year's International Quranic Recitation Competition in Saudi Arabia. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
The Nigeria police has assured Nigerians of checkmating the violent criminality taking over communities within the country. Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 10, Yakubu Usman, gave the assurance at the flagging of ceremony of a 3-day training, retraining and restructuring of Special Anti-Robbery Squad held at the Police Training School, Sokoto. Muhammad Nasser again reports.
The program aimed at training and retraining officers and men within the force that could operate effectively under the Special Anti-Robbery Squad nationwide. Flagging up the program in Sokoto, the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 10, Yakubu Usman, described the training as timely, adding that it will enable officers and men of the force to be conversant with the application of approach in handling crimes to enable law-abiding citizens to go about their businesses without hindrance or molestation. The Assistant Inspector General of Police asked members of the squad to be dedicated and committed towards discharging their constitutional role without any hindrance.
That is the essence of this training, so that the men will be well trained, they will be retrained, they will be well equipped to face any circumstance, so that they can go after the cattle rustlers, the robbers, the kidnappers, and what have you.
Over 100 participants from Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara states are expected to take part in the 3-day special anti-robbery squad training and retraining program. In Sokoto, Muhammad Nasir, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Ronke.
Thank you so much, Zainab. We'll now take on some messages. After that, the news continues.
Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, to promote voluntary compliance and spare taxpayers the burden of carrying forward old tax liabilities arising from penalty and interest. The service wishes to invite all principal officers, especially chairmen, managing directors, chief executive officers, and non-executive directors, chief financial officers, and all company owners or their representatives to take advantage of a special window to avoid payment of penalty and interest on tax due between 2013 and 2015. The service will grant a pardon dating back to 3 years, 2013 to 2015, to all taxpayers if such taxpayers declare their indebtedness within the 45-day special window and present a payment plan on the outstanding principal tax liability acceptable to the FIRS. This window opens on 5th October and closes on 24th November 2016 and relates only to accumulated penalty and interest, not principal tax due. Based on this waiver, part or full payment of undisputed tax liabilities should be made, while the balance can be paid in installments not lower than 25% on account. Failure to take advantage of this special window will result in the FIRS deploying all legal means, including criminal prosecution of board and management of defaulting organizations. Applicants wishing to take advantage of the special window are enjoined to forward their applications to Office of the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, 20 Sokode Street, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja.
Helen! Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic, all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors for a shining, clean, and fresh toilet.
Wow!
You should also take the
Harpic all-in-one challenge.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Glad you're still watching the NTA Network News. And coming next is Global Tidbits with Ogechi Paul.
At least 10 of the plotters in the foiled coup against the president of Burkina Faso, Rochmark Kabore, have been arrested. Top suspects are still on the run, as revealed by the Interior Minister Simon Kampare. Ex-President Blaise Compare's reign ended in 2014 through the instrumentality of the incumbent president. Meanwhile, a trade deal between the EU and Canada is at the brink of failing after talks between Canada and the Belgian region broke down Friday. Canada's Minister of Trade, Chrystia Freeland, left the talks in Brussels, stating that the EU was not capable of signing a trade deal. It is unclear whether the EU will continue negotiation in the coming days. And finally, 4 migrants have died after a speedboat tagged Libyan Coast Guard attacked a dinghy. Sea-Watch, a migrant rescue organization, said men from the speedboat boarded the dinghy, beat the migrants with sticks and caused massive panic. 4 of the 150 people on board fell into the water and drowned. Spokesman for the Sea-Watch said the attackers were attempting to steal the dinghy's engine. That's Global Tidbits. Ogechi Paul, NTA News.
Thank you, Ogechi. And maiden President Muhammadu Buhari Open Swimming Championship set to begin November 10 in Uyo as lower-tier football club owners and managers appeal for shift and date for Federation Cup final. Ayodeji Makinde tells us more on Sports Update.
The forthcoming maiden President Muhammadu Buhari Open Swimming Championship, which is billed to kick off in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, November 10, has been described as an avenue to further promote national unity through sports. This was the submission of stakeholders in Abuja Thursday at the presentation of the trophies for the competition to the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalun, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Chinyaka Oha. An appeal has been made to the Nigeria Football Federation to shift the finals of the Federation Cup by 1 week to enable the completion of all league matches for the season. Chairman of Club Owners and Managers Committee, who made the appeal in Abuja Thursday, also noted that the absence of properly constituted boards for the 3 leagues affected the quality of the 2015-2016 Football League season.
The chairman called on the NFF to, as matter of urgency, constitute or have election conducted into the boards of the 3 leagues.
Jose Mourinho returns to Stamford Bridge to face his former club as Chelsea host Manchester United Sunday in Week 9 of the English Premier League, and Southampton travel to Manchester City. Meanwhile, the Arsenal vs Middlesbrough match will be transmitted live on the NTA Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Defending champions Leicester City are at home against visiting Crystal Palace. With sports updates, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
Thousands of sympathizers have paid their last respects to Reverend Father Willie Ojukwu in a mass celebrated by Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Cardinal Onayeko. Talatu Ezurike reports.
The late vibrant Reverend Father Willie Ojukwu, who made his mark in the Lord's Vineyard, especially in the Federal Capital Territory, answered the call of the Lord on the 15th of October at Jebode's Monastery. A wake-keep kick-started activities to celebrate the life and times of the widely read Reverend and author who, until his death, was the parish priest of Holy Cross, Guarupa.
Surely Ojukwu was gifted, and he made good use of his gift. He was a great instrument in the hands of God.
The next leg, a Requiem Mass. In a homily, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka encouraged the congregation not to be weary.
He left us wonderful legacies. We pray that God grant him eternal grace.
For the family, God is in control.
He lived for others and died for others.
He started this soup kitchen where he was taking care of the poor.
He was a great man of interfaith who believed in good interaction between Christians and Muslims.
The deceased, aged 71, hailed from